The Devils entered Monday's game, the third of a three-game homestand, having won 7 straight, all 7 on home ice. One of the best starts in Devils history at home. But all good things come to an end. Although Chico Resch, they did pick up a point, and I guess you just collect them and keep on moving on.
Well, that's what you have to do, Matty. I mean, neither team dominated. Both teams had chances. And then some lucky goals, fluky goals, except the last one was pretty. But, you know, I think the difference in the hockey game was simple. Devils had 4 power plays, Matty. They had 7 shots. I can remember one really good chance. They had a couple other scrambles, but I just wish they would shoot a little bit more on their power play. And that's kind of was the difference. And then they gave up a power play goal to Kyle Palmieri. So, you know, it's just hard to figure. You just keep playing and see how it all unfolds. And I'm not going to dump on the Devils. I don't know what the coach is going to say. You know how, there were some mistakes made. There was some things they could have done differently. But you know, overall, Matt, Islanders were really good, and so you can't criticize the Devils too much because they were just beaten by a team that looked very hungry and hot. After shutting out the Rangers, they come in here and they look confident.
And as opposed to Saturday's opponent, Pittsburgh, where the Devils only scored the 1 goal but won in a shootout.
Yeah.
But they were pinned in, and they didn't create a whole heck of a lot offensively. Tonight, a little bit more. They outshoot the Islanders 34-25, but still they just get to 2 goals. So 2 goals tonight, 1 against Pittsburgh. It took overtime, a late goal to tie it at 3, and an overtime goal to get it to 4. So as the Devils come off that road trip and they go, let's be better defensively, not have breakdowns, let's not have breakaways and odd man rushes. They're much better at that, but they're not putting the puck in the net with the same regularity.
No, and I don't know that this team can. You know, they've had some injuries. I don't know that it's the high-powered offensive team we'd all like to think. They could score some goals, you know, and so they're keeping the puck out of the net. And the big thing is, Matty, they played within the system. Everybody battled in front, and everybody made some great plays, including Siegenthaler saving a goal and others as well. So, yeah, I'd like him to score more, but not at the risk of starting to make risky plays where they're getting beat defensively. I am just saying I would like to see – they've got some big shooters, one-timers. I would like to see them, like, one-time some shots on the power play, like Nemec did. You know, hit some players in front. Get the goalie not wondering, where's that rebound going? They just look to me on the power play that they want to set up that one pretty shot. And they did on the first goal by Timo Meier. But then after that – so anyway – And I'm not going to get – I don't know at all, but I'm not going to get nitpicky. I just wish they could have scored when Jack got hit with that puck in front of the net. But you can't win them all, can you, Matty?
No one has. And
no one has,
it
right?
won't happen this year in the NHL either. We'll have dressing room reaction and head coach Sheldon Keefe coming up in just a moment. By the way, of the 34 Devil shots, do you want to guess how many came from Jack Hughes?
Well, at one time it was 6, but I don't know.
He had 6 after 2.
Yeah.
11.
On net?
Season high, 11 shots on goal, 4 blocked, 3 missed the target. So 18 shots put toward Ilya Sorokin by Jack Hughes in 24 minutes of ice time.
Well, yeah, so you're not going to criticize him, and I just hope they don't criticize any of the other players because they all gave it their all. I know Paul Cotter, you know, in the third there, he wanted to unload on that check, and he threw a shoulder into Hyman, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, Heineman, yeah.
Heineman. But so that wasn't the greatest because it put him in the penalty box, and the Islanders scored, but it wasn't from just a hook or a hand. Like he was trying to be physical and didn't work out. So, again, you know, fans are going to say, oh, if the Devils did this, the Devils did that. Yeah, you know what? The Islanders were countering with a lot of good plays too, so it's just a game, I think, Matt, that could have gone either way, and tonight it didn't go the Devils' way.
As we check out the highlights of the game against the Islanders, we go back to the very beginning, well, almost the very beginning. Less than a minute in, the Islanders were called for too many men on the ice, 38 seconds in. Devils go to work on their first of 4 power plays during the game, and it was Timo Meier with the goal. Here's Jack, bottom of the near circle. Cross ice pass. Oh, and it goes off the heel of the stick of Hischier. Pelech might have gotten a piece as well. Now Jack at the hash mark's far side. Puck has not come out of the zone. Here's Luke. Now for Brad. Centers. Meyer scores! A power play goal. Timo Meyer between the circles, and it's 1-0. Meyer's fifth of the season, second power play goal, and that's what you would call a good start.
It was a great start, and I want Timo Meyer in a one-time position. He scored. It was a great shot. Don't get me wrong. He's in the between the two hash marks, okay? So he's right in the slot. But when you shoot it as quick, as hard as he can and as accurate on that shot, the goalie's not going to get over there. If he's got to just stop it and then take the puck and then shoot it, goalie's probably going to be there. So just a beautiful start for the Devils, and you think, oh, boy, are they going to score tonight?
2:12 in, they had the 1-0 lead. Jesper Bratt and Luke Hughes with the assist. Bratt the primary, Luke the secondary, and the Devils on the board. Little did we know that would be their last goal for quite some time, and that's because the man between the pipes, Ilya Sorokin, who's been good lately, 2-0-1 in his last 3 games. Well, he improves to 3-0-1 with, well, moves like this. Here's a pass out in front. Oh, Sorokin robs Glass. The puck is loose. Now we get the whistle. Oh, baby. Cody Glass was wide open. And it was Arseny Gritsuk who found them there.
Yeah, I mean, Sorokin, I didn't even see the stars of the game, but in my mind, he had to be the first star. If he wasn't, he was a close second, but he was the difference tonight. And I said it would be the goaltending. And both goalies played great, but Sorokin made one more big save at the right time than Markstrom, and they get the win, the Islanders.
You're standing up. You might want to sit down for this.
Wow.
Kyle Palmieri, third star. Shimo Nemeth, second star. And Matt Barzal, the first star.
Are you kidding?
I told you should have sat down.
Oh, well, you just sat me down. I mean, they don't realize how many goals could have went in, that the Devils had chances around the crease. And maybe they just don't want to always give it to the goalie, but when Sorokin's this hot, But anyway, Matty, the stars don't matter. It's the goals that do.
In fact, the Devils had a 1-0 lead as Sorokin refused to give up a goal. Another goal. Markstrom refused to give up any goals until, well, when the hottest guy for the Islanders has an opportunity, he's not going to miss too often. Now it's Palmieri with it. Oh, he finds Horvat in deep. He scores. And
yeah, that was quick.
It was because there was a bit of a misplay along the near boards. Luke Hughes tries an ill-conceived, because when you're scored against, it's ill-conceived. If it works and goes the other way, you score, you go brilliant. But he made a spinning backhand pass in front of the Islander bench, and it was intercepted by Kyle Palmieri. Yeah. So now Luke says, I got to get back.
Yes, Cizikas reaches out and grabs him a little bit.
And then the linesman got in the way. So Luke was never able to get back, and Bo Horvat, no problem. He doesn't usually have a lot of problems if there are some people near him for the opposition, but there was no one there. And he made a nice, nifty, high shot, lifted it bar down on Jacob Markstrom, and for Bo Horvat, his 12th goal of the season.
Yeah, and that was the first of breakaways, and we know the final goal was also a breakaway. And again, I'm not going to get into how the Devils give away 2 breakaways. It happens, but it's just interesting tonight that 2 of the 3 goals by the Islanders were breakaways.
So the game is tied at 1 on Horvat's goal. Palmieri with the only assist, and we move later in the period. The puck is rolling toward Jacob Markstrom, and he says, I got to do something. Chips it to the blue line. Dylan breaks his stick on his shot try. Loose at center ice. Dylan without a stick. Richie slides one in front. Coming out, diving to poke it free is Jacob Markstrom. Well, he did that once. He liked it so much, he did it later in the game, too. And the puck bounced in the air. It was just at the end of a Devils power play. And Jesper Bratt bats it out of midair. Not sure. It looked like at the time it might have been bounding toward the Devils' goal. But at any rate, Jacob Markstrom sprawling, diving, doing whatever he can.
Well, here's the other thing, Matty. Not only was it effective, but is that exciting or what? We're here for entertainment, folks. At least I am. And most of these fans, of course, they want their home team to win. But that was super exciting. Oh, what's going to happen? and he won both of those battles.
And so we still stay tied 1-1. Now, the Devils had power play chances, as we mentioned. They scored on the first. They didn't score on the next three. And we talked about it when that fourth power play was issued to the Devils on a high sticking call, which was legit against Matt Barzal.
Yeah.
Devils don't score. And you asked me, are you nervous? Are you concerned? And I said yes, because officials are human. And sometimes they'll not mean to look to even it up, but they'll look a little closer, scrutinize things. But they really didn't have to look too hard at Paul Cotter's interference call. And I know it was an error made of aggression, and he wanted to help out. But that was a clear interference. The puck wasn't close to the man he ran into.
No, the referee can sit back tonight and say, I made the right call there.
And so the Islanders get a power play, 15:59, the time of the call. And the Islander power play, which has been a little suspect at the start of the season, but went 1 for 2 against the Rangers on Saturday. Well, one opportunity, and they scored one goal, but we're going to get to it in a moment, because first we want to listen in on the coach.
High-quality scoring chances. Thought we played a good game. I thought we defended well, did a lot of good things, but we made more mistakes than we scored goals, and that's hard to make up for that. I mean, big mistakes, big mistakes. All 3 goals, really big mistakes. So, that's when the game's that tight. You just can't make those mistakes.
You end the homestand, a terrific homestand. You get a point. But what does that do when you get that goal with 4 seconds to go, as far as just the confidence going forward of knowing you're never out of a game?
Yeah, I mean, we believe in our team. It's the second time now in the last little bit that we've been able to tie a game and get a point out of it, or at least get us to overtime and give us a chance. Like we got the 2 points last time we tied one up. So it's good. It's good, but it's not a great recipe, to try to squeeze one out like that all the time. It's not a great recipe, but you're certainly happy when you guys come through.
Timo was saying that he really did like the first period for you guys, but then in the second period and maybe third period, trying to force too much off the rush, that kind of thing, and said, we need to understand we got to be smarter in those situations. Is that kind of how you would? Yeah,
I thought. Islanders played well. They played smart. They didn't give us anything for free. And I thought we were stubborn, especially in the third period, and as a result, just got nothing to show for it offensively. Second period, we had more than enough looks and opportunities. We'd like to see us score on a few of our opportunities there, or at least one of our opportunities, and then make a big time mistake, that allows them to score, and now the game's tied.
One of the things that was said also in the locker room was just the mentality right after the Islanders take that lead to go out there and sort of dial in for that game-tying goal. What do you like about that sort of gut check moment?
Yeah, it's great. Like it's guys weren't defeated, especially on a night when there's not a lot of offense going. You can get frustrated. You got a great goaltender on the other end that's playing very well, but the guys just stuck with it. Thrilled for Nemo to shoot one in there for us. That's a big moment for us and for him.
Yeah. Over the last several games, we've seen Nemec's ice time go up. What are you and the coaching staff seen out of him that has given you the trust that he can handle those more minutes and more responsibilities in tighter moments of the game?
3 injuries on defense. That's part of it. Nemo has shown when guys are hurt and an opportunity arises that he can step up and rise to the occasion, but we don't have a lot of other options right now. We need these guys to step up and take these minutes on, take this responsibility. So it's great. Like I said, for him to shoot one in, to get that big point, it'll be big for him.
Your thoughts on Zach McEwen's first game back?
I thought he did some good things. You could tell it was his first game. I thought, it's just he was keeping his chest real short, which is, was a good thing. But yeah, he moves up and down the ice well, and he had some shots, a couple scoring chances, which we haven't had much of that coming out of our fourth line. And in the 2 games that he's played, it's probably the best that I've liked our fourth line, and on the season. So that's encouraging for him and for our team. Thank you.
Sheldon Keefe concluding his post-game news conference, and Shimon Nemitz tonight in terms of ice time had 22:06, and Luke Hughes had 27:24. And yeah, Dennis Chalowski and Colton White are just not going to get as much time. So necessity is the mother of invention. Necessity requires players to see a little more ice time, but you got to be able to grab it. If you don't play well, the rotation's going to be cut even more. There may not be many options, but the coach is not going to keep throwing you out there if you don't handle it.
Absolutely, Matty, and that's what I was just saying to Matty. Okay, so they got to try to tie the game. They pull the goalie and stuff, and Luke Hughes could have been out there, but no, he picked Shimon Nemitz. There's a reason why, and I think Simon really played well. He jumped up, and the play was good defensively along the boards, and then he just blasted that one-timer. So, yeah, injuries is also contributing to his ice time, but he's playing well. And like you say, though, if Dougie Hamilton's healthy, maybe Dougie's out there. I don't know, but all I know is the Devils, they're playing pretty hard defensively as a five-man unit, and I like to see that.
Devils lose by a score of 3-2 in overtime. We left you with the diving, sprawling Jacob Markstrom, and the game tied at 1 after 2. Again, power play opportunities for the Devils. They went 0 for their last 3 after scoring on their first. You were fearful there would be a call. It was legit. It was called against Paul Cotter for interference. The Islander power play, which, as I said, has been less than scintillating this year, although 1 for 2 against the Rangers. Well, tonight, they were 1 for 1. Out high to Schaefer. A minute to go in the penalty kill for the Devils. Now it's Horvat, top of the right wing circle. 2:57 to go in the third. Schaefer with a shot. Hits a buddy in front, and they score! And it'll be Kyle Palmieri, I do believe, who has made a living playing that kind of a game in that kind of a position. And yeah, he leads the fist bump parade. The Islanders lead 2-1. As Palmieri scores the go-ahead goal, it comes with Cotter in the box. It comes at, now I've lost my spot. Here we go. It comes at 17:07, and the Islanders had the lead.
You know, the one thing I like about hockey, Matty, that never changes, when a guy scores a goal, I don't care who it is, when it is, they are so excited. And Kyle Palmieri's mouth came open. He was screaming. He was so happy for a lot of reasons. He played here. He lived here. And to get a big one like that against the Devils at that time, you think, all right, that's going to be a game winner.
But it wasn't. The Devils pulled the goalie as they did against Montreal after Timo Meier had tied that game up late at 3. So the Devils, with time winding down, and it's looking like maybe this game would end before we would get to overtime. But Shimon Nemitz had other ideas as we play the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. Puck is loose, swept to the corner by the Islanders. They're trying to chew up some more time, protecting it along the wall. Heischer digs it out, gets it to Brad far side. Stick handles, looks around, tries to get it in front. It's blocked away. Now he fires it to Meier, gives it to Brad out. High the drive, they score! And it's Shimon Nemitz with the blast! His first goal of the season, and for Shimon Nemitz, his first in 17 games. He scored on April 15th against Boston, and here he is tying it up with 5 seconds left. 19:55, the time of the goal. Jesper Bratt with the second helper of the night. Timo Meier with the secondary assist. Hey, we got ourselves a new shiny one going overtime, Chico.
We do, Matty, and I want to put this in perspective for people. He wouldn't have scored if the puck had traveled right to where he shot it, but it hit Page, then hit the ice, bounced up, and then went over the glove. I only say that so we as fans and people watching hockey realize how many times just shooting the puck within that 4x6 area, it can hit something, it can curve, it can do all kinds of things and still end up as a goal. So that's what I liked about Nemitz's one-timer. It wasn't wide, it wasn't high. It was between the 4x6, hit a defense forward, but went in the net. And give him credit for that. And it was looking really good. You think the Devils are going to win another one.
Well, there was hope indeed on the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. But in overtime, the Devils did have a chance to win it, but in the end, things went the Islanders' way. Anyway, the Devils have trouble. They turn it over. Couldn't take advantage of it.
That one off, so at least you got it back.
And now a pass up ahead. It goes off the stick of Heineman. Behind the net, it's Markstrom with it. Gives it to Mercer, and the Devils in control.
Jack and Luke out there together.
Luke gives it to Jack. Bratt comes on as well. He had the overtime game winner against Montreal. Drouin, Pulock, and Barzal now for the Islanders. Devils across the line. Bratt drops it off for Luke. Cuts to his left. Has a chance shot. Hits a body in front. It's loose. And taken by Drouin. Almost a turnover by the Islanders, but Barzal comes away with it. Drouin up ahead to Barzal. He scores! And that ended it as the Devils had a chance at one end. Couldn't find that puck in front. Drouin cleared it away. And then as they almost turned it over again, Jack and Bratt are caught in the offensive zone. And you know what? That's the mindset in overtime. We're going to jump on it. But once it got out of the zone, numbers favored the Islanders.
Well, yeah, if you think anybody in hockey can make perfect understanding of what's going to happen, you're dreaming. Like, you're right. They're going to err a little bit on a 3-on-3, a little bit. Not a lot, a little bit on the side of scoring a goal. And they should, right, Maddie? But on that one, it just worked a little bit against them, and then just a gorgeous finish by Barzal. He takes it on his backhand and quickly goes to his forehand and then shoots it up over the glove of Markstrom. For at least it was a beautiful goal. And, you know, the Devils are going to say, well, yeah, we could have done some things differently, but overall, Maddie, it's been a nice homestand. Tonight they gave it their all. I can't criticize.
No, Barzal with his fourth, Drouin and Pulock picking up the assists, and the Islanders with the 3-2 victory. The man who scored the goal that tied things up and forced overtime is Shimon Nemitz, and he spoke with the media after the game.
Nemo, you've been, asked to step into a role here with so many injuries to play a ton of minutes, and I'm just wondering how you're feeling with what you've been able to do so far, both you and Luke taking on lots of minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really good. Yeah, it sucks, the injuries, but for me, it's better to play more minutes and then play my game. And I think I showed that last couple of games. But yeah, I just have to be patient and be ready for everything.
In that last second there, are you just thinking, get that puck on net?
Yeah, I just close my eyes and try to shoot. But it's not much what you can do last 5 seconds. So yeah.
How exciting is that? I mean, just to take me through the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that building was crazy. It was almost like that playoff goal. Yeah, I just felt that. But yeah, I was hoping we're going to win in overtime, but yeah, it didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, pretty tight game.
What does it say about this group, just the way that third period played out? You guys lose the lead late, but then come back with that 6-on-5 goal.
Just shows how good we are, and we can go there last 20 seconds and we can score. I don't think so. We did it last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just shows how this group is really good and yeah.
What's it been like for you playing with Siegs and just sort of finding that rhythm with Jonas?
Yeah, he's obviously a great player. We played before the seasons a couple games together, so we know each other, and yeah, he's been awesome.
You were excellent on this homestand. Now you have to go on the road. Just a mindset you have to go now with some confidence.
Yeah, we just have to play same game and just dominate on the ice, and I feel that that's our game.
What's been the message from the coaching staff to you specifically as you've seen your minutes and your responsibilities increase?
Just play my game and yeah, just do my job there.
What about Markstrom tonight? How good he was, and then your goal, Marky, how good?
Yeah, he was unreal. He's always great, and it's easier if you have behind you that great goalie.
And that is Shimon Nemitz. Following the game, he had the goal to tie it up, but the Devils lose 3-2. And I said it was his last goal since scoring against Boston. When they give those stats, it's only the regular season, but he did score that big goal in overtime against Carolina in the playoffs. And
Yes.
that actually was the last goal that he scored, obviously.
Yeah, and we've been happy, Matty, right, with his growth as a defenseman. And people who think that you can grow in a year or two or even three, that other team are smart. They're the best players in the world, and they're trying to defend. And it's a little bit of not a little bit, it's a big process, to get up to the point where you're just solid on both sides of the puck. And I thought tonight Simon did that. He was terrific. I watched some of his board work covering the puck and playing defense in front of Markstrom. And then he gets the tying goal. I mean, he had a terrific game.
And the goal was icing on the top, but
Yeah.
unfortunately the Devils couldn't get that third goal past Ilya Sorokin, and the Islanders come away with the victory. Looking forward to seeing Chicago. That's next up for the Devils, Connor Bedard and company.
Yeah, but let's not forget Tyler Bertuzzi. He's got as many goals. He got a hat trick. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe what we saw a little bit in Anaheim, there's a feeling of, you know what, we're pretty good. This is really fun. Let's just go out and do more of it. They seem to be a much more together team, Matty, than they were with all Bedard. So they have some other players that are making an impact, and that won't be an easy game for these New Jersey Devils, that's for sure.
Connor Bedard with points in 8 straight games. He's got 25 points on the season. And as Chico pointed out, Tyler Bertuzzi tying Bedard for the team lead in goals with 9. That game will be heard on the Devils Hockey Network.